Hey everyone, Mo here, and before the video begins, I just want to let you guys know that my schedule has opened up for me to do coaching again. So if you're interested in private one-on-one coaching for me to help you, whether you're a newer player and you want to excel at the game very quickly and learn the fundamentals without developing any bad habits early, or if you're an experienced player who's already maybe platinum or diamond in your top 1%, but you need some help filling in the gap to get you to that 0.01%, to make you just some of the best, then hit me up on Discord and I can get you in some private one-on-one coaching lessons to help you polish up any skills you want to refine and help you learn all of the secrets to becoming a top player. That's it. I hope you enjoy the video. Go ahead and bring you guys a deck guide for dummies on Anivia, as well as showing you guys a game with Anivia. So I know that's what a lot of people have been wanting, is a deck guide with gameplay in it. The reason I haven't made those so far is because they get really long, because the games themselves are going to be 10 to 15 minutes long, and the deck guide to get super in-depth is going to be like 10 to 15 minutes long, so they turn into like 30 plus minute long videos. But we're going to do that here anyways, because we're just showing you one game, and then the deck guide is also not too complicated for this deck, so that's why I feel pretty confident in being able to do both in the same video. So before we get into the actual deck guide part of this video, I wanted to remind you guys that we're really close to 3,000 subscribers, so if you could do me a huge favor, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment on the video. It helps me a lot with the YouTube algorithm, as well as it'll just make me super happy if we can hit that 3,000 milestone. I'll probably do like a long 24-hour stream or something like that over my Twitch. So that's gonna be it for this intro. Let's get into the video. So we'll start off. I always break my deck guides up into 3 different portions. The portion where I go over every card in the deck, why it's in there, the portion of just general curves and play patterns and how to play the deck, and then a part about mulligans. So we're going to start here by just going over different cards in the deck, why they're in the deck. For the most part, this shouldn't take too long because, like I said, this deck is a lot more simple than people think it is. And the purpose behind every card is basically the same. It should be about helping you live. So the main idea behind behind Anivia, and the main idea behind Mono Anivia is just to survive long enough to get multiple Anivia attacks in with either multiple Anivias because of things like Rekindler or Harrowing or something like that. And then you just slowly whittle down your opponent's resources until the point to where they're just locked out of the game and you're attacking them with these like unstoppable 2 damage at a time from Anivia. So we'll get into the top here and the bottom. So the Everos and Sentries in here is a nice 2-drop 2-1. It's anti-aggro, gives you an actual play for a unit on turn 2, so you can block any type of 3/2s or 4/2s, as well as it refills itself. So it's really good. It's nice tempo play of it. You play it as a card, but then immediately draws your card and refills itself. So that's good while killing a unit. So it helps you stay alive and draws you into your combo. Entreats, you play 2 Entreats because you really want Anivias, and having the Anivia spell Harsh Winds is really big against a lot of these mid-range decks. It essentially allows you to play like 9 different Frostbites. You get to play like 2 Flash Freeze, 4 Harsh Winds on top of any time you actually just naturally draw your second Anivia, so 5 or 6 there, and it just becomes really frustrating for your opponents to ever get through, and is a really good way to help you stall the game out and end the game. Glimpse is used as a way to kill off your Anivia in response to something like an Obliterate effect is really good there, as well as it's a good way to just draw you more cards. If they're trying to remove your blockers, Glimpse is a good way to draw you cards to draw into your combo. This is just a very long and very boring combo deck. All you're trying to do is just get as many Anivias into play as possible. So having things like Glimpse and Entreat to draw you into your combo pieces or draw you into cards to help you stabilize is really good, and that's why they're in the deck. Iceveil Archer is here because it goes through Spell Shield, so it's really good against mid-range decks that develop ever. So if your opponent develops a Ruin Runner, you can now Iceveil Archer. If your opponent develops a Sivir, you can Iceveil Archer and then kill the Sivir. So Iceveil Archer is a really nice way to punish developmentals, just like how Noxus has the Spider on 3, the Arachnoid Sentry, to punish developmental strategies. You have Iceveil Archer to help punish developmental strategies. 3 Vial Feast, anti-aggro card, kills a unit, gives you a blocker, really good. 2 Flash Freeze, Frostbites are really good. The reason I play Flash Freeze over 3 Sisters is because you'll never use the plus damage from the 3 Sisters. And if 99% of the time you're using it for Flash Freeze anyways, might as well just save the 1 mana and play Flash Freeze. 1 Gluttony, this is for the slower matchups, for the players like, you know, the Ezdraven matchups, maybe even the Mirror matchups, and they try and either kill your Anivia or they're just sitting there and you know they can't kill your Anivia. Gluttony is a really nice way to just cheat out a Rekindler. It helps you auto-kill your Anivia, it helps you cheat out a Rekindler so you have more board base, and it's really nice. It's only a 1-of. A lot of decks don't even play Gluttony. It's a very back and forth card. I think it's fine. I play Gluttony over Catalyst here, because I don't think the meta is that slow where you can afford to play Catalyst, but If you want to, you can play like two Catalysts over Gluttony and Withering Mist, whereas I choose to do a more direct, like hard anti-aggro card and a hard anti-like control card. 3 Tavern Keeper. Tavern Keeper is just a great card at a 3-mana 3/3. It's good anti-aggro by gaining life, as well as it blocks any fearsome blockers. It blocks like the 4/3s. It blocks just about anything that doesn't have quick attack or a Ruin Runner, essentially. And even with Ruin Runner, it still saves you 3 HP. So Tavern Keeper is good. 2 Avalanche, 3 Blighted Ravine. Board wipes. That's how you beat these aggro decks, is they develop on you. You board wipe them with Avalanche. If they have 3 HP, then you go Avalanche, Blighted Ravine, or you do like one of these, and then you pair it with a Withering Wail. So these just help you stabilize the board against all these smaller decks. Smaller unit-based decks, these swarmy aggro-style decks. Again, you ever combo with Withering Wail, it's the exact same thing. It helps you kill off all these 1 HP swarm decks. This is essentially used to clean up after your Avalanche or Blighted Ravine. Withering Mist is a way to kill a bunch of 2/2s, or another way to set up into your Withering Mist. If you go into turn 3, on turn 3 you have 6 mana, so you can Withering Mist. If you go like pass on turn 1, pass on turn 2, or float, turn 3 you have 6 mana. So you can Withering Mist 2 things that have 3 HP. Let's say you're against like Pirate Aggro or something. You can Withering Mist the Misfortune, and then Withering Mist something else that they played. And then on your turn 4, you're now going to have 1 spell mana left over from turn 3, as well as just your 4 natural mana, and you can immediately Withering Wail. And that's why this deck is so powerful against aggro. They basically have until like turn 4, and then once turn 3 and turn 4 happened, their entire board gets wiped with some combination of Avalanche, Mist, and like Wail, or Blighted Ravine, Wail, and stuff like that. You can even like Withering Wail on turn 3, and then immediately Blighted Ravine on turn 4 to protect you from the open attack, and it's just extremely strong. Anivia's in here because it's our win condition. I mean, that's how you win the game. You play Anivia almost on turn... I play Anivia on turn 6 as soon as I can, almost every single time, because you don't actually even mind blocking with Anivia. If your Anivia dies, that's good for you, because that helps you in the future whenever you're trying to play the Rekindler or trying to play the Harrowing and stuff like that. And it helps you clear Spell Shield. It helps you damage units, get them smaller, so that way they do end up dying to these like Avalanches and Wails and any combination of spells like that. So Anivia's in here for obvious reasons. 1 Harsh Winds, just because you want more Frostbites, and right now, with the meta being a bunch of Demacia, like Demacia Shen, Shen Jarvan, then you have the Sivir Ukshin with Demacia. Harsh Winds is really, really good there. By being able to just do 6 mana, 3 spell mana, and just stop 2 of the ginormous units from attacking. As well as right now, rallies are being super played. How you lose to those Demacia decks with Anivia is typically to like double rally from your opponent. Frostbites completely stop rallies, because your opponent's not going to want to attack again in the same turn if they don't have power. So if the units don't have power, they're not going to attack again. And that's why Harsh Winds is really, really good, because it stifles rallies on top of helping you deal with the mid-range units you can't really deal too well with. 2 Rekindlers, only 2 instead of 3. 3 Rekindlers feels really clunky. Because you're playing Gluttony, you could go up to 3 Rekindlers. I just think 3 is really bad. Like, you never want to double draw Rekindler early. Sometimes you draw Rekindler like before you draw your Anivia, and it's bad. And then if you just draw 2 Rekindler, it's super, super bad. So before your Anivia, it's super, super bad. So that's why I like the 2 Rekindler option. Now, our top end, we're going to skip the Vengeance for a second here. We're going to go to 2 Harrowing. 2 Harrowing is very, standard. It's been standard since the beginning of Anivia times. You basically just play Harrowing late game as late game bomb against all of these slower decks like the Noxus PNZ decks, your Ezreal Dravens, your TF Swains, even the Mirror Match. You drop a Harrowing and then you just get a really big attack hit and you're really happy. So, Vengeance and Ruination. If you notice here, we're playing 3 Vengeance and 2 Ruination, and this is to help you in the mid-range matchups and the really greedy matchups like the TF Swains, where they just want to play really big boats. Those decks automatically fold to Shadow Isles if they play enough Vengeances, because they spend 8 mana on this giant unit to, make their Swain better. You spend 7 mana, and 3 of it can be spell mana, to kill their boat. And then the next turn, they want to play Swain, and then boom, you just like Vengeance the Swain. So between the 2 Ruinations and the 3 Vengeances, you should have absolutely zero problem with dealing with a lot of these mid-range decks. And that's 2 Ruination is actually how you beat Soraka Tahm Kench. I know that's a very niche deck, and it's not played too often, but it is really good right now in tournament scene, because Anivia is really good, and Tahm Kench Raka just counters Anivia. It counters GP Gangplank. And it counters just like a bunch of the random Demacia style decks in Lee Sin. So if you're trying to counter or beat the Tahm Kench deck with Anivia, you need to keep just double Ruination in your opening hand and then kill them with that way. So that's why each card's in the deck. Everything is in the deck basically to stall and help you live, or to kill things and help you live to where your Anivia takes over. So next we'll go into play pattern. The play pattern is very, very simple with this deck, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it because for the most part you need to pass. If you find yourself losing a lot of the times or you don't know what to do, just pass. Basically, you need to ask yourself the question, can I deal with your open attack? If the answer is yes, you can deal with their open attack, you just need to pass. If you're not under any threat and you can get a lot more value of your things later on, you can pass. I'm not saying be like super greedy, like don't just sit there and take, 5 to 6, 7 damage over and over again because you'll die very quickly. But if your opponent just has a bunch of like 2/2/2s in play, you can say like, okay, I'm not worried about it. I'm just going to play, if you want to develop. So let's put you in the scenario of turn 3, your opponent has 2/2/2s in play, and you have an avalanche. Do you really just want to avalanche 2/2/2s? Or what you can do is pass, say, okay, opponent, if you want to open attack me for 4 damage, that's fine. They open attack you for 4 damage, you can just play Kindly Tavern Keeper, and then now you still have avalanche mana open. Or you can avalanche later on. Because Kindly Tavern Keeper made it so you only really lost 1 HP, and then now you have a blocker for future turns, so your opponent has to develop into you. And then eventually they just have to be forced into developing, and then you get that even more value, higher value avalanche and stuff like that. So a lot of the times you can pass. You can see even in my video, my gameplay video I show you, I believe there was a turn where I could have easily attacked with Anivia to kill my opponent. I think he had 2/2/2s in play. It was like turn 10 or something. He had 2/2/2s in play. I could have swung with Anivia to kill off the 2/2/2s, but my opponent went to 8 mana and then just passed to me whenever I threatened the attack. So instead of attacking to kill the 2/2s, I just passed. Because I'm not under any threat, and eventually I get to the point to where I can just kill him with multiple Anivias with like harrowing and stuff like that. So there's no reason for me to try and force this 2 damage through when I can just pass and then do the same thing in future turns but stop my opponent from playing cards. Lo and behold, the very next turn, he just slams down a Leviathan. So if I would have attacked the turn before, then he would have gotten to play the Leviathan. I would have taken 3 damage for free at the start of the turn, and it would be a lot better for my opponent. But because I passed, I burnt all of his mana. He didn't get to play a Leviathan. He now essentially wasted a turn. And then the following turn, he had to play the Leviathan anyways, and I was able, by that point, just to like vengeance it, I think. So I stopped his momentum completely because I said, I'm not scared of this open attack. You have to play cards to beat me. I'm already beating you. I eventually essentially made him waste an entire turn, and that is just like a perfect example of why passing is a lot better sometimes if you don't have any active play you're trying to look for. So pass more, pass often. Those are the keywords. If you can deal with the open attack, pass. If you can't deal with the open attack, then you have to spend your mana on the avalanches and the blighted ravines and stuff like that. So that's it for the play pattern of the deck. The very last portion right here, we're gonna go over the mulligan. And again, the mulligan is extremely simple. If you're against aggro decks, you want blighted ravines, avalanche, whale, vile feast. If you're against control decks, you just want like Anivias, harrowings, gluttony, stuff like that, so that way you can just skip straight to your combo at the very, very end. I would keep an avalanche against almost every single deck except for like the Anivia mirror match. If you're not against Anivia mirror match, avalanche is really, really good. Avalanche kills all of the aggro possibilities in like Draven Ezreal. The only way Draven Ezreal ever beats you is if they just randomly smork you down with like 4/3s and 3/3s. So because of that, you essentially need like 1 avalanche and 1 whale, or any combination of 2 cards to board wipe them. If you can board wipe Ezreal Draven 1 time, then you should win the game, and the game will be pretty much over from there. So the mulligans in this deck is again super simple. Against aggro, what do you want? That's right, you want avalanche, blighted ravine, whale, vile feast. Against control decks, you just want your Anivias, harrowings, rekindlers, and against the mid-range style decks, you're going to want 1 avalanche, and then you'll probably want more like a vengeance, a blighted ravine. Honestly, you'll want blighted ravine over avalanche, because the big thing about blighted ravine is it goes through spell shield. So especially if you're playing in something like a Shurima deck that has Sivir and the Ruin Runner, stuff like that. Blighted Ravine is huge because if you play 2 Blighted Ravines, it actually kills the enemy units through their spell shield, which is really, really big. And the only way they can save their unit is if they have to use pump spells and save spells on the defensive turn when they're not attacking you. And that is just humongous. If you can get them to waste their pump spells on turns they're not attacking you just to keep their unit alive, that's really, really big. So that's going to be it for the deck guide and like how to play the deck and why each card is in the deck. So now I'm just going to go ahead and show you guys a gameplay of the deck, and I hope you guys enjoy the game. I don't think I did an outro at the end of the video, so I'll do my outro now even though I'm showing you guys a game. So make sure to join my Discord so you don't miss notification on everything. Go ahead and follow me on Twitch because I stream on there almost every single day, and sub here on YouTube because I put out videos Monday through Friday. That's going to be it. I'll see you guys in the next video. Enjoy the gameplay. Alright, oh, it's this person again. Like, this person was the person that was AFK when we played him last time. They queued up Lee Sin and then just like, we're AFK. Maybe they're back. Deep is only aggro when against average Anivia role players. Oh, true. You hate this matchup? This matchup can't be that bad, right? You just like Vengeance the big thing and they can't do anything about it. We just keep passing. Welcome to the School of Pass. We play this. They run Cinco Deny. Oh, they can't. Cinco Ruination. We just continue to pass. Vile Feast. Okay. I have Vile Feast. Thanks for the follow, Itachi-san. That's fine. I'd rather him glimpse than play like a unit that's good. Like a Spirit Leech or a 3-2 or something like that. I guess they don't play the 0-mana 3-2, but I want him to just play like a free Spirit Leech where he's going to draw 2 anyways. But then also have a good card. We're going to find ourselves in Anivia. Exclamation mark meta? Yeah, exclamation mark meta takes you to my Meta Monday video. Came out today. Diego. It's not very cool. What's wrong, man? You don't want to attack me with your Diego? Alright, we're just gonna slam this Anivia card down and just start going to town. Is this list on Catalyst? I don't think so. I haven't drawn it. Yeah, this list is not on Catalyst. I think like 1, maybe 2 Catalyst is fine. I think 2 Catalyst is honestly fine, especially if you're expecting just like a slow meta of like Ezreal Draven and TF Swains and stuff like that. He killed my Anivia for me. What a nice person. Activated our Rekindler card. I could also just Anivia's Harsh Winds. That's also pretty good. We'll probably just do that. Harsh Winds. You leave my egg alone. That's my egg. You leave it alone. Don't twin discipline. Why would you do that? I don't want to do that. We'll pass. We'll just Ruination. We'll just ruin the nation next turn. Let's swing. See what you do. Thrash. Okay. Excellent move, streamer. Mo, don't read it out loud. Oh, okay. Oops. There's no way they have a deny. I actually don't even know if I needed to deny this early. I probably could have, like, waited a turn, like, waited for them to play, like, either Hydrovine or something else. Another Viego is not that bad. That's not the worst thing they could have played. Missed call? Oh no. Oh yeah. Easy game. Easy game. I think I'm gonna frostbite you, my friend. Because I don't like dying. Dying is not very cool, you know? We can Blighted Ravine. We can just double Blighted Ravine. Kill this Diego. Never mind, Sedge. Diego goes to 2 HP. Oh well. I mean, he goes to 2, but then we have Rekindler, so we're fine. Oh, that's it should get +1 HP, right? Yeah. Okay, and we have Anivia. We say deal with this, Anivia. Please. But, I mean, like, don't actually deal with it, because I needed to kill you. Well, that was just not very nice. We can do something like this. Okay. Thresh, well, it's not very cool of you. Honestly, we'll just let him kill all of our Rekindlers and stuff, and then we just win with the power of 9,000 birds. Yes, 9,000 birds, yes. Vengeance. What you mean, vengeance? Okay. Let's see what they do. I kind of like passing here. I kind of just like vengeancing their Viego. I like passing here, see what they do. Kills my burb. We say okay. And then we play our Rekindler. And then we have another Anivia. Oh, okay, cool. And we get Big Swing. We get Big Swing. Yeah, I think they just can't keep up with the Anivias. Like, because I'm playing triple Vengeance, double Ruination, it's so hard for decks like this and TF Swain to have enough threats. Because ideally what happens is they're like, okay, I'm going to play one, like, Viego or a big Viego or something like that, and then just run you out of steam. And then, like, oh, okay, you used your Vengeance, so now I'm going to play my second Viego or play my Hydrovine, and now I got you because you used your Vengeance. But because this deck plays 5, like, huge removal spells for these big top-end units, you kind of just destroy them. Like right here, he plays Hydrovine, and what's your Thresh shot? It's only at 3, so let's take it to 4 to 5. Can actually level his Thresh, but that doesn't matter. He only has one Viego left in his deck, and if I can just Vengeance that Viego, then I like win the game. Syncopation. Okay. Sounds good to me. We just do it again next turn. And honestly, we're kind of just like winning the game with this Anivia. I actually would love to just lose my entire board so I can Harrowing this turn. I mean Harrowing next turn. So this is his last Viego. So even if this Thresh levels, it doesn't matter. Do they play Rekindler? I don't believe so, no. Dang, he had double Syncopation. That's pretty crazy. I don't believe they play Rekindler, no. Not any of the lists that I've seen anyways. Well, that's just not very nice. Okay. I mean, again, leveled Thresh literally doesn't matter because this is his last Viego, so we're just gonna block everything and hope to not die. Next turn we'll Harrowing and then have Flash Freeze on the back end so he can't Atros. Atros is only like out. Yep, so we do this. We go to 10, doesn't matter. We're gonna Harrowing next turn and just kill off his everything. So we'll just pass. And then we can just Harrowing. Get all of the Anivias. So we'll have 4 Anivias, so deal 8 to everything. So the Viego will live at 1 HP. Everything else is just dead. So he goes for Atro, we have Flash Freeze, and the game is over. Game is over! He naturally drew 3 Diego and 2 Thresh. He didn't draw a second Thresh, did he? He got it off a missed call? No, he did draw 2 Thresh, that's right. I thought he got the Thresh off a missed call. Wait. That's crazy. My opponent played 5 champions and still lost. Yeah, this deck's nuts. I mean, this deck just has so much resiliency. Like, any of these big, like, larger mid-range units, or mid-range decks that just try and get greedier and go wider. Like, this deck's game plan is very much like, win with Hydrovine, win with Viego, and you have 5 very easy ways to just say, I kill your unit, and then you have a bunch of Frostbites that say, like, I can stall as much as I want. So, yeah, that's why you do well into these big decks and decks like TF Swain.